Hi, thanks for tuning in. My name is Ralph Rizzo. I'm with the Hidden Pet Fence Company. I just wanted to do a review today on one of the newest products that's out. Today, it's July of 2024. We have in our hands an Invisible Fence brand GPS collar. We have been playing with this for quite some time, and we've got some things we wanted to tell you about it. So if you were thinking of getting this particular one, there's some do's and don'ts. There's some things that you should know about it ahead of time, and we're going to go through that as quickly as possible. First of all, there's a list of things. I made a little list here, so sorry it's not the greatest looking list, but it will help keep me on track. So basically, there's some minimums about this unit that came with the instructions or that we found on their website. You have to have at least 3/4 of an acre minimum size property for this unit to work. It says keep 25 feet away from any buildings or roads. What that means is if you have a road in front of your house, they want it to be 25 feet away from the building and also 25 feet away from the road. My best math says that's about 50 feet. It says if you are to choose that you want your dog's stopping point to be, say, here, they recommend keeping it 10 feet inside of that. So if you do that and you have kind of a smaller property, keep that in mind when you're setting up the zones that you want to try to keep your dog in. There is a couple other things. This is a rechargeable collar. I wanted to show this collar. This is the Invisible Fence brand GPS collar. It is rechargeable. It states 18 to 24 hour battery life. We found that the battery was not lasting 24 hours, so that's definitely true. It takes up to 4 hours to charge, and it has a 1-year warranty. After that, the battery is not replaceable. You would have to purchase a new collar. It says specifically this collar must be taken off inside the house, as it could falsely activate inside. And if you have a dog door for your dog to go in and out of, they do not want you to wear this collar or have your dog wearing this collar if you have a doggy door. It says that the GPS in the collar updates every minute. I'm not really sure what that means, but that's part of the setup instructions. Notifications and tracking will not work unless there is cell phone coverage, which there's a lot of I don't even know what carrier that is or if it's all of them, but there's a lot of folks that want to buy these collars for like their summer home or up in the mountains or in between the lakes or something like that, where there's not a lot of cell phone coverage. So it's something you want to look at. For us to try to set this collar up, we had to pay $99. After we purchased it, we had to pay $99 for tracking and for the fence to work. We could not even get to the instructions on setting it up or training without paying this fee, and we did. Let's see, it says one size fits all collar from 11 inches to 26. I made this as small as it could at 11 inches, and then it's not even round at that point. But I'm just reading to you what they say. You can see that's not round. Most dogs' necks are round. I think it's gonna be quite uncomfortable, but that's my personal experience. And with 26 inches maximum, the much bigger breeds, this is not even going to fit around their neck. It says that this GPS fence activates as closely accurate as 4 feet. The way that I read that is if you want your point spot to be here, this is saying the closest it's going to get to that is 4 feet. That's the closest. It could be a lot more, but that's just what this says. It says activates for up to 15 seconds. There was no explanation about what that meant, that it can activate the collar for up to 15 seconds. That's very concerning to me because 15 seconds, if your dog was getting some kind of static correction, even if it's on low, 15 seconds is an eternity, and it's something you should think about and know about. Checking for location does not work inside of the house. You must go outside to a clear view of the sky. This is not stuff that I found. This is stuff that we read or came with the collar. We either read on their website or it came with their collar. This is just information you should know about this collar when you're thinking about purchasing it. So what we're going to do now is go into a little bit of the experience that we had with this collar and the system setting it up. I'm going to show you the collar again. This is it. This is what goes on your dog's neck. And this is the charging system that goes with this. Does more than just charge, but we followed instructions. We're very tech savvy here. We followed the instructions clearly. The first charge on the unit failed. We could not get anything to work during the first charge. It kind of quit working. We couldn't find anything on the internet or in their information. We called customer service. We got somebody on the phone. We had to do a factory reset on the charger itself. It wasn't anywhere. We did get a hold of somebody. We reset it and we started to go forward with it. We failed just trying to set it up. We couldn't set it up at one property. The property we tried to set it up on was not actually to use it for a dog, and it was smaller than 3/4 of an acre. So what we did is we measured out past our property and tried to set it up even bigger than that 3/4 of an acre, so we were within that minimum or beyond the minimum. And we could not get the points set up once we got the charge going to even set up a perimeter. So we tried it at another property. Went to another property. Again, it wasn't 3/4 of an acre, but we went out past that to make it big enough to be over the 3/4 of an acre and failed setting that up too. A couple of more calls to customer service. We got a hold of somebody. The second time, they walked us through some stuff. It still failed after that. We called the third time, and they just recommended that we ship it back to them and they would send us a return label. So that's what we're doing. So I can't even honestly give you a review on the performance of this from myself or my office's experience. I will tell you that we recently put a fence in for somebody that, actually we did an estimate, we didn't do their fence yet, but they had this particular collar, called us, they were really upset. They had set up the perimeter, they actually got it set up. They told us they had the similar issues, not with the charger, but with actually getting it set up and having to call customer service a couple times. But they could not get the collar to activate in the same spot. So that is not what I found, because I couldn't get to that yet. We just couldn't get it set up on two separate properties. But one of the people that we just did an estimate for recently said, same problem, or they solved that problem, I'm sorry, but they could not get the collar to activate in the same area. They say that the collar's supposed to go off here, and then it goes off 10 feet before, or it goes off 5 or 8 feet later. And it was consistently like that. And then when taken into the house, even though the collar was off, it was activating. So that's the main reason why you don't want that in the house. Most folks, when they buy a fence from us, put the collar on in the morning, leave it on all day so the dog can easily go in and out of the house. Nobody's looking for the collar. Where did the last person take it off? Where did the last person leave the collar? Collars get lost when you're doing that. I don't know if you're going to lose this thing though. Thing's humongous. But you can find it with a GPS on your phone. You can't if it's in the house though. But anyways, I'm just making a little joke there. Hope you find that funny. So what I want to do is a little comparison of Invisible Fence's GPS collar versus our wired fence technology. So first of all, there's size. Size matters in this. I have a collar in my pocket. This is the most common collar that we are currently selling. This, extremely tiny. This, you can go look this up for yourself, is 8 ounces. That's half a pound. This versus this on your dog. This has so many settings for gentle, small dogs, very excitable, very big breeds. All the adjustments are in here, and you could just see the size of this collar. This collar weighs less than an ounce, where this is 8 ounces. Then we've got reliability. So remember I was just talking about that collar can get as close to 4 feet. Well, it can also variate that. We found that on numerous GPS collars for dog fencing. Again, I didn't find that because we didn't get that far, but we've been told that. But the reliability of an underground wired fence it's totally customizable. You put it wherever you want, and it works in the same spot every time. we are a full service company. So we don't just sell products like this and hand them to you and give you the pat on the back and good luck. Well, there's installation that has to be done, there's setup, there's training process. We train with positive reinforcement. It works 100% of the time. It doesn't matter how small or big, how mild or how crazy your dog is. It works on all dogs. At the time of doing this, I've been doing it personally and owning this company for 20 years. It works all the time. We train dogs with training flags so they get the visual, the collar beeps so they get the audible, a little feeling on the neck that's completely adjustable from a tickle, scratch, or a pinch up to something pretty aggressive for dogs that are super crazy, super stubborn, very tolerant. We work with dogs everywhere in between. So our service, we do a consultation, give you a couple ideas about the yard, how you can set up multiple zones, separate front yard, separate backyard, make it one big loop, lakefront properties, whatever. We customize it for you. The guys will come out and do the installation of the fence when you're there. They'll do the training with the dog. We do follow-up trainings after that. And you know that it's going to work. That's what we do. We're 100% successful. We have a money-back guarantee. If you go with us, you're going with the folks that are local. They know what they're doing, and that's all we do for a living. The battery life in the two separate collars, I'll show them again. This is less than 24 hours, or it says up to 24 hours. We couldn't even get 24 hours out of it, so that is correct. This is up to 30 days. Usually people tell us they get about 3 weeks is the average on this, or that's normally what people get. My dog's collar, she's got one just like this, Adriana, and her collar lasts just a little over a month, but I don't tell people the maximum. I tell them kind of what the normal is. People like our service because we're local. We have office staff here. The company's been around for longer than I've owned it, but I've owned it for 20 years. We can do any size property. We have a pretty good size service area that we do. The wired systems, like I said, they're super, super reliable. So the wired fences, meaning an underground wire that you don't see, it's under the ground, hooks up to a box and all that stuff. A lot of folks don't, they like the idea of a GPS fence because there's no wires that get cut. So when we install, we use a professional machine. It costs us over 10 grand for the machine that buries the wire. It's all we do for a living. We do it great. And people are worried about the wire corroding, going bad. We have multiple different wires that we sell with our packages. The most common one that we sell, it has a lifetime corrosion guarantee on the wire. The second most common we sell has a 15-year corrosion protection on the wire. So I don't want you to have that as a determining factor of this has no wires that'll ever go bad. Well, we couldn't even get it to work, and it's huge, versus a wire that could possibly go bad. Well, in 15 years or a lifetime guarantee, most folks aren't really too worried about it once they get that guarantee because we use better products that last longer, and it gives you that guarantee. There's no monthly fees with our service. If you were to purchase the GPS fence that we're talking about, right now it's a yearly fee that could turn into a monthly fee. I don't know the future yet. Again, the service of us training your dog, coming back and training your dog, working you through any kind of questions or issues that you have, that's what you're going to get with a full service. I like to say, I got a guy. So what that means is, I have people tell me, if you're going to get a satellite system TV or satellite TV service, you could buy that stuff and set it up yourself, or you got a guy that does that. You could fix your own washing machine, or you got a guy that does that. There's brakes you could do on your car, or you got a guy that does that. Well, we're the guys and girls that do underground fences for dogs, and we've been doing it for years successfully. People are happy with us. Most of our business comes from referrals, whether it's existing customers. We have a ton of veterinarians and veterinarian technicians that love our systems. They like a lot of the different pieces about our systems, and they refer us out. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest things that people like when they refer us out is the contacts. So I'm going to show you this collar again. These are solid contacts that touch the dog's neck. So when the dog is moving around and lay down, they compress further in their throat. Where we have what's called gentle spring contacts. Obviously the size of this just makes me smile. How big difference is in the collars. These move up and down. So if you see these, they move up and down individually. So when your dog is moving around or lays down, they don't just press fully straight up into their neck. They actually move up and down. So they're smaller, they're safer, they're lighter. They come with us doing all the adjustments. You don't have to do it. The training flags, the installation, the guarantee, all that stuff you're getting in-house, local company, guaranteed to work. We do free estimates. Give us a call. We're not high pressure sales. We've been doing this forever. The product works great. We do a great job. We have awesome people that work here. We don't use subcontractors. Give us a shout today. We're 1-877-DOGYARD.com, or the phone number is 1-877-DOGYARD. Again, my name is Ralph with Hidden Pet Fence. I appreciate you tuning in for this video, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks.